Hey guys, it's Paul, and it is this week's Shrine of Secrets breakdown. For those of you who don't know what the Shrine of Secrets is, every week Behavior releases 4 perks, 2 Survivor and 2 Killer perks that you can purchase with iridescent shards that will appear in your teachable webs. This week's 4 are Fixated, Unnerving Presence, Stakeout, and Iron Maiden. As always with these, we try to do as many as we can, but some are just not easy to show, or they're just crappy perks. In this case, we have 2 that we will be able to go into, and then 2 that we won't. Unnerving Presence is a perk that causes anyone within that terror radius to have a much smaller success section on their skill checks. This is really good when you're combining it with things like Huntress Lullaby or the Doctor in general. A lot of people run this on Doctor because it's part of that impossible skill check Doctor. Outside of that, there's really not a lot. I'm not one of those killers that likes to increase my presence. I tend to like to stealth around and run around with lower terror radius, so this one's up to you if you want to use it. I would definitely use it in conjunction with other things like Distressing and that impossible skill check Doctor or other things. On its own, it's okay, but if you're going to be going up against skilled survivors, they're not really going to be phased too much by the smaller skill check area because they're going to hit those skill checks anyway. On the survivor side, we have Stakeout. Stakeout is another one that's really kind of hard to show. Also, in my opinion, it's not a very good perk. So what happens is for every 15 seconds that you were in the terror radius of the killer, you gain a token. And those tokens translate to an increase in your skill check. So what happens is if you land a good skill check, it is upgraded to a great skill check, and you get a 1% increase in your gen progression. But you can only hold 4 tokens, and having to stand a minute in the terror radius of the killer means that you're not doing anything on gens for a minute. So that 4% increase really doesn't do a lot. If anything, you are spending way more time than you should be within the terror radius to get these tokens than you're ever going to get for the value of that 4% increase on your gen. I would avoid this one at all costs. It's just a useless perk to me. And the 2 that we're going to be showing you, the first one is Fixated. Fixated is a fun perk. It's a very interesting perk because what it does, when you are running, you can actually see what the killer sees. You see your scratch marks as you're making them. It helps you see where you're going and where you've been, and more importantly, how long it actually takes for those scratch marks to disappear. In addition to that, you can gain up to a 20% bonus of walking speed, which can really make a difference too because you don't want to make a lot of scratch marks anyway, and this perk helps you do that by making your regular movement speed significantly faster, so that way you're not having to worry about running. But when you are running, you will be able to see where you're coming from and see when your scratch marks do disappear to see whether or not that killer is really right on your trail or they just happen to be lucky and are kind of fishing to find a survivor. And last up is Iron Maiden. Iron Maiden is a very, very niche perk. To me, there are only 2 characters that really benefit from it, if anything, and that's Legion and the Huntress. What Iron Maiden does, if someone is exiting a locker, they scream, and for 15 seconds they're exposed. The problem with this perk is most of the time it's basically been made for an anti-barbecue and chili check. The easiest way to get away from barbecue and chili is to hop in a locker. Iron Maiden kind of penalizes you for hopping into a locker because you scream, show off your position, and for 15 seconds you are exposed. The problem is, most of the time if you're hiding from barbecue and chili, you're a significant distance away from the killer, and that killer is probably not going to get to you within a 15-second time to hit you with an exposed tactic. The only one that I see this working on well is Legion, of course. When he's in his frenzy, he can see you if you're in that locker, and has that ability to come out of his power and either grab you out of the locker or wait for you to exit the locker and then stab you for the easy down. And the other only person that benefits from this is the Huntress, because in addition to that exposed status, you gain up to a 50% increase in locker searches. And that's great for the Huntress, who has to constantly reload her hatchets at lockers. I mean, there are better perks out there, but this does have an extra advantage for the Huntress, for her reasoning to get into lockers much quicker, to potentially not lose a ton of distance on chases or things like that. Also for this particular one, shout out to Lopi's Lagoon. They were helping me out. They just happened to be farming when I needed to get some stuff done, and they were really good sports, and they kind of helped me show you some of the things that you got to see in this particular segment of the video. So shout out to them. They seem to be good people. And that is it for this week's Shrine of Secrets. As always, if you have any of these unlocked, you can buy them again for 2,000 iridescent shards and gain another 150,000 blood points. That can come in handy. You never know. But that's it, guys. Hope you found something you like. Hopefully you found a perk or two that you might want to use, or a perk or two, more importantly, that you don't want to spend your money on, and these help you. If anything, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, and if you want to see more of our DBD content, don't forget to check us out on Twitch on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays for more Dead by Daylight, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll catch you guys then.